Greetings, BlazeLeeDragon here, and this time I've got a political video for you. So, for those of you used to watching my spirituality ones, or my entertainment illusionist ones, or just some of the other videos that I post that are random, this one is a little bit different. So, as many of you may be aware from a couple of my videos, I am very much pro-gun. I'm very much a supporter of the Second Amendment and the right for U.S. citizens to own firearms, and I will continue to support such. There was a vote in Congress a couple days ago. I don't even remember what day it was on. Maybe it was on April 17th. No, it's at least when this was posted. I've got this site up in the background because I wanted to cover all the things that were voted and what failed and what passed. It was on the WashingtonPost.com, so you can look up the article, how almost all the gun amendments failed. Now, with this in mind, there's plenty of news sites out there. There's multiple sources I checked. I can't find anything that specifically states what the bill said. It's always a summary. So I just wanted to kind of comment on each one of these that failed and passed, and where I was surprised and what my thoughts were. So if you want to listen, awesome. If not, pretend to. Give me a thumbs up anyway. So the first one was background checks. And there was 54 people that were for the background checks amendment and 46 against. And in order for anything to pass, they had to have 60 votes. So that was 6 away from passing. President Obama did a huge speech on this where it was almost like a rant. I was actually very surprised and kind of disappointed in the video. I'm not really Republican or Democrat, and I didn't vote for either one. I actually consider myself green, if anything. And to see that and not really be a big supporter, I kind of was sort of shocked that it was sort of a rant like that. And I almost felt blew it out of proportion to a certain degree. But at the same time, I mean, I can kind of see some of the points that he mentions. You can look it up online. Just look up, Obama's response to the background checks. So basically, the idea of this amendment was that it was going to make it mandatory for background checks for individuals who go to gun shows or purchase off the internet. That's pretty straightforward, and like President Obama says, it's pretty common sense. It's no reason not to have it. It's not really that big of a deal. You get background checks for going into a gun store right now. It's the same type of background check. There was even a part in the bill that actually made it illegal and a felony for them to collect the background checks they do and create a registry out of it. So I am really shocked that that failed, and I personally would have had no problem with it passing, and I would have voted for it to pass. It was very small. There's not a really big deal about it, and I don't understand it. So if you guys have thoughts or comments, video responses, comments below, fill me in why you think it should have failed, and you're happy it failed if you are. I'm kind of shocked myself. Even though, like I said, I didn't necessarily like what I felt was almost a rant video from President Obama, I see some of his points. I can kind of see. I just thought it was kind of mean how he kind of pointed out Congress being... I almost felt like he was calling them stupid and that they didn't have any backbone. That kind of... okay. The next one, the Republican gun legislation. 52 for, 48 against. Basically, as far as I understand from reading some of the summaries online or even glancing at it right now, this basically just had to do with increasing funding and support for crimes, gun crimes, and school safety and mental health resources, stuff like that. Once again, I'm kind of surprised it didn't pass. I didn't see anything in there that I necessarily disagreed with, and I didn't really see a big problem with it. That's another one I would have liked to have seen pass. So kind of shocked there too. Then there is gun trafficking failed. 58 for, 42 against. It was only 2 away from passing. And basically this just makes it more strict crimes for straw trafficking, straw purchases, things like that. Basically where you go and buy a gun and give it to someone else, or you buy it for someone else because they can't purchase it. And I've got mixed feelings about it. I don't really see a problem with increasing it. I don't see a problem with the passing. But at the same time, it's like, it's already a pretty big deal in general, and do you really want to hold one person responsible? I don't know. I kind of have mixed feelings about this one, but I wouldn't have been upset if it passed. Expanding concealed carried failed. 57-4-43 against. This one I'm really upset about. I wanted this to pass. Essentially what this would do is it would allow or push for concealed carry holders to be able to go in any other concealed carry state and carry, is the way that I understand that, and also be able to cross state lines with your carry permit. You know, if you have a permit and you're able to carry concealed, why the hell wouldn't you want to be able to cross, you know, just in general, if they're going to recognize it, everyone should recognize it. I mean, I guess there's the question of, you know, there's not necessarily a standard across all states for the exact same requirements to get your concealed carry. So, I mean, but it was close. That was a pretty close one, too. A lot of these are close. Assault weapons ban failed. This was Dianne Feinstein's psychotic legislation suggestion. I am uber excited, tickled pink that it had failed. I am a little scared. It was actually 44-60 against. I wish it was a little bit more unanimously against it. I think Dianne Feinstein is an idiot. I think, looking at the way that she handles the guns, she has no idea what she's doing or how she handles them appropriately at all. And she's like aiming them at people practically. She doesn't know how to, she doesn't even need to have a firearm in her own hand, in my personal opinion. And for her to sit here and, we have to ban all these weapons based upon name because they're so dangerous. You know what? Anything's dangerous. Anything can be dangerous. So to say, you know, well, you can't have this type of weapon, but you can have this one, and some of the specifications were just absolutely outrageous, ridiculous. I completely oppose this bill. I am so happy it failed, and the bill being suggested or brought up just completely disgusts me, period. I absolutely hated the bill, disliked it completely. I can't reiterate that enough. That was just a crap bill, and I am so happy it failed. Not surprised it failed, but I'm very happy it did. Expanding veterans' gun rights. That failed 56-4-44 against. I don't know the specifics of this, and I didn't really look it up because I'm not a veteran. I've never been in the military. You know, I don't know what it was for. Let's see. Basically, apparently, if they had veterans who had financial hardships were not allowed to own firearms. I don't necessarily agree with that. I'm glad that failed. I mean, just because, I mean, we're talking about our soldiers here. You know, they are heroes. I mean, they fight for our country. I mean, yeah, not every soldier is going to be the ideal of what a soldier should be necessarily, but I think a good majority of them are, and that's an extremely hard thing. I know I couldn't handle being a soldier. I don't see any problem with them being, you know, I don't think this stipulation should be on them. So if I'm reading it correctly and understanding it, I'm glad that failed. A ban on high-capacity magazines. It failed. 46-4-54 against. This basically limited the amount of ammunition you can have in a magazine. It's a stupid bill. It didn't work before. It serves no purpose whatsoever. I guess it's argumentative that, you know, well, if a person's going to be a shooter, with how many millions of guns and millions of gun owners are, how very, very, very few shootings happen. And, I mean, I don't even know the exact amount. There's all this debate back and forth on how many happen per year. But whether it's 500 or 10,000 a year deaths that happen from firearms out of 302 million or something like that, Americans, that's really not that big a number if you really consider it statistically speaking, considering how aggressive and stupid some people can be. And there's multiple reasons gun crimes happen. It's not just like, we're not talking school shootings, we're just talking about gun deaths, period. So it's like reducing the amount of ammo that they can have in there. First of all, their criminals aren't going to listen. They're going to put as many rounds in there as they want to. Dropping a magazine and reloading is not that hard. Doesn't really take that long. So I yeah, I'm completely opposed to this. I would have voted against it too. I'm glad it failed. I don't see any problem with people having 30, 40, 50 round magazines or drums or whatever the case may be. And yes, they've been misused before, but here's the thing, no matter what, if somebody's doing a crime, they're misusing something, they're not using it appropriately. The law-abiding Americans, like myself, that do not abuse our right to have firearms and how we utilize them, don't go on shooting sprees, yeah, we don't need to be penalized because of some idiots who, even if you restrict us, they're not going to listen. But anyway, I don't want to get too much into that. Protecting gun owners' privacy passed. 63-4, 30 against. That was actually one that passed. Fully supported. I'm glad it passed. Essentially, there was like some motherfucking piece of shit that posted all of the gun owners in the newspaper and their names and stuff. I don't know if it was the address. You'd have to look it up online and find it. I forget exactly where it was. But this basically prohibits that. Protecting gun owners have the right to privacy. You know, whether or not I own a firearm, my business, doesn't need to be announced to everyone where I live and that I own one and things like that. I don't agree with posting that, making that public knowledge. What I own in my own home is my business. You know, I don't like that. And then the last one was mental health funding passed. 95 for, only 2 against. And I'm glad that that passed too, because that's the big thing here with all this craze, and that's the last one. With all this craze and hype that's going on with all this violence and things like that, if you want to be opposed to violence, be opposed to what causes people to be violent. The tools that they use, they're going to find any tool. And like I said, this could be a long-ass speech, but I didn't want to spend too much time on this video. I'm already hitting 12 minutes, so I just want to basically say, you know, I support the whole mental health thing, and I think that's what it comes down to. It's not normal for people to want to go hurt other people. You know, everybody gets picked on and teased and goes through hardships, but not everybody can handle it. So it's like if we need to focus not only on showing people how to handle some of the crap that happens, but to make, you know, help them to realize that, you know, we don't go around hurting, killing, and shooting or breaking or blowing up or beating people whenever we get upset or feel alone or whatever the case may be. So I think the support on having people get past that, not to mention support maybe even educating the public on, hey, stop pushing people. You know, it's like if you don't agree with someone, you don't agree with them. You know, being a dick and pressuring them and abusing them mentally until they flip and do something psychotic, not cool. You're not helping anything. You're adding to the problem. And disarming, of course, is not a solution. It doesn't solve anything, but yeah, I can get into big rants like that. So anyway, this is just a couple of my thoughts. This is some of the things that were voted on. For you, those of you not familiar, you can definitely check out some stuff. Like I said, I'm on WashingtonPost.com right now. There's a couple other news sites that I went to try to get some information on these bills. And like I said, all of them have summaries. I don't see anything that says word for word what the bill was. I guess we're not supposed to be able to see it. I don't know the details. I usually don't follow politics. But being, like I said, an being a gun owner and a proud gun owner and supporter of that right, I just wanted to make some comments and, yeah, post myself talking and chattering. So, enjoy. Yeah, feel free to leave comments, feedback, your thoughts.